Thank you so much. Welcome, everyone, to the LEC postgame lobby, where I'm joined by Ender and BrokenBlade. Congratulations. 3-1. Good day at the office.
It was a good day. I think we shouldn't have dropped one game, but still very happy to be in the finals.
Okay.
At least you got the Olaf game in and absolutely smashed.
Yeah.
Top lane matters.
Very happy about that game, actually.
Yeah.
So
let's take a look at it, because it was actually, you were a menace. Your Olaf was a menace all series, and you reached your power spike in game 5 with your solo bolo, and from there, it didn't stop.
Yeah.
And we were talking a lot about how it's hard to see, I don't want to say the value of top laners, obviously they're valuable, BrokenBlade, but you don't see them pop off that often anymore.
yeah, I mean, I think the meta doesn't allow it very much. It's like it's very bot-centric. Bot lane is just very strong, so there's not much reason to, go much to top lane. If you do a 1v1 solo bolo like I did, then you can have a lot of impact, obviously. In the first couple of games, Sjokz had the pressure in lane. But in this game, I was really unleashed. I think my champ was really good in this game. They literally couldn't kill me.
Yeah.
I ran into 5 people. It was like impossible to actually die. So a very happy shout out to Dylan Falco for the drafts.
And
Easy
he
draft.
was shouting you out as well, so that's great. We were talking a lot about the drafts, actually, in terms of kind of Yike incorporating into this roster, and the fact that he's put in a position where, Sejuani has played mid so that he can play the Velvet or whatever he wants. That's super, super interesting. Would you mind talking a little bit more about that?
Yeah, I mean, it's just we have a lot of creative minds on the team, and no one has the ego to be like, oh, I'm not going to play the tank, Caps, known as one of the best players in Europe, just says, okay, I'm going to play Sejuani because it's good, It's like, if that's the case on how we are going to win, we're going to do it. And it's a very dangerous thing for us, for the enemies in the league, because like, oh, if you can play everything, how do you draft against them? How do you prepare against them, right? And sure, if we would have lost this game, everybody could have been like, oh, we just trolled, but we won. So people actually have to now respect it, which makes us even more dangerous. So I'm very happy about that. And we obviously have a lot more stuff up our sleeve, so excited to show that as well.
Yeah, I want to see it. I want to see it, because like the thing that I see when I see the way you guys draft, it's like Yike has this very eclectic, sort of like carry focused, like fast clear focused champion pool, and what that often means is like you're missing like the hard engage out of the jungle. Like he hasn't played the Sejuani at the very least. So then you have like Mickey just locking in like Nautilus Leona every single game and making up for that in that way. Or it's a lot of AP champions in the jungle for Yike. So Caps is playing AD mids a lot of the time, and I think it's like it goes to show like how flexible each individual player is on G2, that you can sort of mix and match who has what role in any given game, because I think a lot of teams just sort of play the same roles in the comp every single game or the majority of games.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's like the biggest thing of why we are so strong. I think is because, like, for example, in this game where we had Lilia, it's if you would go like a Amumu support, for example, then they have more cleanse value, etc. And then we sometimes opt into like other matchups to have the better team comp in the end, and don't lose lane still, And that's very nice to have, because ego can also be sometimes in a way. And I think in this team, it's just not, Like everybody is so down to earth and like so humble. Even though we're so good, it's like hard to stay humble, I think.
Yeah.
But we are, and I think that is very, very good. There's I really respect it. I really respect anyone on my team, also staff. Literally anyone who's on the team is really giving it their all to make these kind of things work. So I'm just like very, very happy, to be competing with them.
Well, let's. I appreciate that. Let's throw away the humble for a second, because right, like top lane, kind of a useless role at the moment. Your Olaf absolutely tore it apart, but AD carries are just getting played in every single role, right? Like AD support, Caps is playing at mid lane every game. Yike will bust out the Kindred or the Graves. What top lane AD champion are you going to play for us?
I mean, I did show my Akshan before, right?
Yeah.
So Akshan might be back now that the other Akshan player in the league got eliminated, Photon. Rest in peace.
We'll see him in like 2 weeks. It's fine.
Yeah, but until then, I might, have to pull it out.
All right.
I mean, it is interesting though, because when you look at the other roles have, I feel like, more innate possibility to bring that flex out in the game. in comparison to top lane, unfortunately. Do you feel that as well? Like there's more restraint, even in this series, right? So much Olaf, a Gragas, you know.
Yeah, I mean, yeah and no. It just depends on what direction we want to go, right? So, like I think, for example, if they give me the chance I want to play, then I will just play it. You know, like I'm not gonna shy away from something when I know it's good. Like I don't have to be necessarily fancy to win the game, right? But if I have to be, I will be, right? And I think that's exactly the strength we have. We can go fancy, but we can also go boring and just good, you know. And I think that is very important to know for us. And for enemy teams, it doesn't matter if they know. They can't do anything about it because we can do everything what we want, you know. As long as we stay humble.
Yeah, as long as we stay humble.
Stay humble, you know.
Tell me about game 2 specifically and how much that was premeditated. I'm sure it was, obviously. You know, it was bonkers. And I feel like it might be hard in times like that to not lose yourself almost, because I feel like that's maybe what happened in game 3 thereafter. How much is it coordinated when you have planned, when you say, okay, we're going to go for tower diving between the towers, very early levels, like...
Yeah, that level 1 especially, like, what was going on? The Yikes going between mid lane towers, you're invading 1v2.
Yeah, I mean, you just, every time enemy team plays something, you obviously have practice, right? And you just train strategies that may or may not work, right? It could have gone really, really wrong this game. It was very close. For my lane, I gave up a lot. I sacrificed a lot for my lane. After the game, I was a sponge, they said. My teammates, because I soaked up all the pressure, right?
Is that why you were talking about SpongeBob?
Yeah, exactly. We're talking about SpongeBob, and I was SpongeBob. Elise level 2 ganged me, and I still gave the kill to Sugenda, so he loses even more time. So yeah, I can, you know, have so much like pressure and freedom to farm, and he eventually just took over the game, right? Yeah. Even though I'm like, I think I ended the game like 1-2, but like I actually did a lot, you know, for. And it doesn't show as much, right? Obviously, but this is why we do this strategy, right? To soak up all the pressure on top lane and just get jungle ahead, you know. And jungle was ahead, I think, like 100 CS or something.
He pulled off the Flame Horizon. That did end up happening.
I'm trying to keep track of the G2 memes because with FLICKR, it was always something new. Now I feel like adding, as long as we stay humble, is definitely approaching meme status.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not sure. We have a lot of inside memes. It's not more out in the public with FLICKR.
Yeah.
Also, shout out to FLICKR if you're watching, right? I miss him.
We all miss him. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we have a lot of, like, we are very similar atmosphere, vibe in the team. It's still very easygoing. We still have a lot of jokes, you know. It's like, so it's actually really nice to be, like, if you go to practice and you win a lot, it's obviously nice. But if you go to practice and you like the people you're around, it's even better, right?
Yeah.
It's just like very, very nice to be around these people. So
it's what I feel like coming to work at the LEC.
Aww.
So, yeah.
Except for Vedius.
No, what? We love everybody.
I'm just starting.
Our MasterCard play of the week was the Maokai Misfortune combo from game 1. I gotta say, in terms of kind of starting a series and having like the first time Misfortune and it going so well, kind of the ideal start, probably. Pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, it's again something. Actually, it was something that we just kind of freestyled, I would say. We just answered to what they did, basically. And you could see in the Maokai ult into Gragas ult, like we did it a lot. Actually, the Sejuani was trying to tank. He's like, oh, fine, guys, I'll tank. But he died anyway. And this is why I think the combo is so strong. Because once I do that combo and then Misfortune ults, they can't come to save Sejuani, which is like just. Like every team fight looked so coordinated, even though it's just really easy. You wait for the stun, you ult behind him, and MF just presses ult, and like no one can do anything. And it was very, very free, actually, just from drafts.
Because Malrang literally has to like stand in front and tank the Maokai ult, otherwise his team is going to get hit.
Exactly.
And then the Gragas ult not only knocks him into you guys, it sends the back line away from him, so it's just doomed.
It was doomed for Koi, but they still had some fight in them, and I'd like to pull up the bracket and ask you, BrokenBlade, as to what you see in terms of Koi, and we're not going to talk about if or when they meet you back in the finals, but if you think it's going to be Koi that's going to make the run back, or if you feel like SK or Mad could upset.
Well, in our team, we already made up our minds who is going to make it.
Okay.
We are using the law of attraction, and we're thinking it's going to be SK in the finals.
Ah.
I can't give more detail. Okay. SK, and that's it. I can't give. I don't know how they win, whatever, but SK is going to make it.
They have to just win first versus Mad and then versus Koi.
they will make it.
I was gonna say, I don't even know if SK know how they win. Like, I swear, like, both series they played this weekend, like, it looked like they should have lost, but like they had like scaling picks a lot of the times. Teams couldn't close against them. Very sloppy mid games. Like, they're
Law
a
of
team that
attraction.
like.
What is this? I'm trying to figure it out.
You think I know like physics or whatever? Like.
I think
I mean, I could explain to you, but it would take too long, and I don't want to ruin the show.
Is that's not the because I know there's one where it's like
no.
if A is
I-
better than B.
I respect your guys' time. It's
B
the
is
law of
better than
attraction.
C.
You might see it on social media. Someone's gonna explain it to you, tag you. But SK, we are using the law of attraction and you to face them in the finals. Not because we think they're the worst, just because we think actually they will make it.
Yeah.
Right. I think they have clutch moments actually, even though they fall behind sometimes.
Yeah.
Right. They're winning the games.
10K. They fell behind 10K.
They don't just win games because they're lucky, right?
No,
okay,
but
maybe one game, maybe two games,
You
but not.
should be scared of that specifically, that they brought back a 10K goal deficit.
You're up by 10K a lot. I don't
Yeah.
know. That's like their comfort
yeah.
zone.
Yeah.
We also one time last split actually, or like was it last split? Gave up a 15K goal lead against Misfits.
Hey, the sky's
Rest
the
in
limit.
peace.
Give them the 20K one next.
It's a bit dangerous.
It is dangerous, indeed. And Nardo, let's take a look at this bracket as well. I feel like I love, although you say that a lot of times our opponents gave them something, I mean, we heard rumors of how strong SK could be for a long time, and I think they've shown that at different points in the season too.
I was gonna say, like, to be clear, like SK have looked very good in a lot of their games. I think for me, like this weekend, I wasn't super impressed with them coming in, and as a result, I would rate Mad over them coming into this matchup. Like my expectations for Mad are very high, and then it's funny because it's like, I feel like we have some repeat matchups from LEC history here with Mad Koi, formerly known as Rogue, and then.
Oh yeah, is that true?
Yeah, did you know that?
No, I didn't know
yeah,
that.
they used to be called Rogue.
Oh,
it's
really?
crazy.
Yeah,
It's
I didn't
crazy.
know as well.
Yeah,
No,
there you go.
it's news
That's
to me.
where that team
Thank you.
went.
That's
That team that schooled you in the finals.
Good clarification.
But yeah, I mean,
So actually, you didn't lose to them in the finals, to this team, because this is Koi.
completely different roster.
Exactly. Yeah. I don't even know what happened last split.
No.
Actually, I actually
clearly.
don't.
Me neither, but I wasn't
I also
here.
don't want to know. Like, it's fine.
That's what your lanes look like, so. Anyways, any final thoughts? It's kind of crazy because every time I look at this bracket and at the new system that we're all getting used to, you're just in the finals. That's crazy.
Yeah, it actually is. It is actually crazy. It doesn't feel like we're in finals actually. But I guess we deserve to be there. We won every game we can.
Yeah.
I guess not every game we can, but every series.
Yeah, you didn't every series.
Nice.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be exciting. It's going to be nice watching the other teams play while we prepare to win the very first winter split.
Very nice, very nice. Got the terminology. I was gonna say, like, you do get to just sit there and watch, and I feel like it's such a big advantage, not just like being able to like see your opponent, but also the fact that, like, for example, a Mad Lions or an SK come in prepping to play a best of 5 versus the other. Then the next day they have to play Koi, and then the next day they have to play G2. Like, you can't focus on those other matchups really through the week. Even Koi has to then be prepared to play one of those teams, and then you. I just feel like that is like such a big advantage heading into this. Like,
sometimes say, "Oh, is there not a bigger advantage?" But I feel like it's
Yeah.
pretty big.
I mean, I think the only disadvantage we get is like not playing, right? But I think we don't really need to play.
But also,
you know?
like, compared to like other like formats in the past, like finals week used to be a time where it's like, oh, who do we scrim? Like everyone else went on vacation and except the team are playing. But now, like, even the teams that have already been eliminated, I imagine, are still going to be playing a lot of games.
Yeah. I mean, I think that that's always not a problem. We don't call it problems. We call it challenges. It's a big challenge always at the end of the tournament, right? I think our coaching staff usually figures out very quick, and you usually want to play the best team, so for best practice, right?
Yeah.
So we get usually a lot of opponents that want to scrim us, and if not, we usually get the best ERL teams. So no matter what, we will be practicing, we'll be preparing to win. You know, so confident in my coaching staff to get some good scrims.
Yeah.
And if not, we always have solo queue and champions queue.
There we go.
So always on the grind. And if you're not on the grind, we're being held accountable by our management.
Do you know who's owning the? Oh, do the shout out.
Oh, shout out to Romain and Raf and Isma.
The trifecta.
Very nice.
BrokenBlade, you won Player of the Series, but funnily enough, you had 38.5% of the votes. Yike also had 38.5% of the votes, but you won.
That is great. I don't think I actually had a player of the game this split yet, so I'm very happy that I got
These
it.
matter. The player of the game doesn't
Very
matter.
happy that I got in the best of 5. Don't think I deserved it in the regular season. I'll be honest. I don't think I played to my standards. I think now I actually got the feeling back. You know, like when I go into a game, I know I'm gonna smash. You know? And in the first weeks, I didn't have that. I didn't play to my standard level, I would say. And now that I'm back in business, I think we're gonna win. You know?
I mean, apparently you're going to the gym in the morning. So
not gym.
Oh.
Don't want false information. It's exercise.
Exercise. Sorry.
We take a run outside, 7 minutes usually. Jog, like a little jog. Sometimes longer, sometimes shorter. And then we do high
intensity interval training.
Exactly.
There we go.
Really?
Yeah, and we do that, and then sometimes we do stretches because gamers, they always are in the same position sitting, so stretches always helps us. Shout out to Isma again. Makes me feel very energized actually in the morning, and I would recommend it to anyone actually.
Okay.
I think it's great.
I'm gonna do it right now.
I gotta know. Well, I've been stretching every day, and I feel fantastic.
Yeah.
I gotta know who's the fastest on the team. If you guys are running every morning.
Oh, the fastest is Hans, and then it's Caps, and then it's Mickey and me.
What's Yike doing?
Yike is
He's jungling.
he might join this week. We had it that the first week was Caps, and then I think Hans joined, and Mickey joined, and then I joined, and now it's time for Yike to join. Actually, this week, because I joined last week, so maybe he'll join, maybe not. It's about people's routine, right? We have to respect it as well.
That's true.
And I think you have to respect it as well, right? So
Me?
everyone.
Specifically. Oh, okay. I thought you were calling me out.
We're going running before every analyst desk from now on.
Yeah.
So
I hate running.
Yeah.
Okay, great. It's so great to hear it. And you're a wonderful PGL guest, as always. We'll see you in the finals.
you.
But first, Laura has told me that this is like incredibly difficult. Not because of it being difficult. Well, it is difficult.
It's
but, like,
selfie time.
The photo never comes out well.
I put this away, I guess.
Yeah, put it down.
So something with the light, and then I'm just gonna. Oh, you
Oh,
hold
we gotta
both
get in
arms?
close.
You hold both arms?
I think so. I don't know. I don't do this.
Nothing.
Smile, maybe? I was talking. Oh, this is a disaster. Why would you
see.
take it when I'm talking?
Oh shit! I'm not supposed to pull it. Oh.
You're fine.
Oopsie. Anyways, don't forget, we will be back next Friday for the LEC playoffs, where we will have 3 best of 5s, but we'll start, well, not on Friday. One on Friday, one on Saturday, one on Sunday. We'll start with SK versus Mad. The winner of that will be playing Koi the day after, and the winner of that will be playing this guy and G2 in our winter finals. Thank you. Have a great night. And no, well, it's not a weekend. Have a great week, and we'll see you next week. Love you.
Great job. Great job.
Love you.
Hello, vamos Koi.
Oh, shit.
The vamos Koi.
It's like Malmo all over again.
So chill.
Who lives in a pineapple under the sea?
German is Sponsor Shankov.
Schrankompf. What's it in French?
Bob l'éponge.
BrokenBlade has the ghost, has used it already. Man, he's going to run to the towers. He's going to go between the towers. He's going to get the wolf. He's going to get the wolf. He's going to get the wolf. It's so spicy. He flashes the flash. What is this? What? This is hate spiders, man. They're arachnophobes. There's nowhere for Caps to go. Does still have the flash. Will hold on to it. Marang flash follows though. Needs a slow here. One more auto will be enough. Permafrost.
I have aura.
I'm coming. But I can maybe run mid.
I will aura. He's gonna get hit as well, okay?
Looks like Nami as well.
Oh, Nami's behind.
Sit your Victor here. Nami
Oh,
hinting,
very
Nami
nice.
and jump.
See Caps tanking the tower. Torpedo sniped from long range as Hansama takes him in that Koi. Comp is in for a world of hurt. A double for Hansama.
Wrist is chunked so really low. Look. No. She's hinting. She's dead for sure. Play on this guy, no flash.
Coming. Hey, double kill, thank you.
Okay, just end. Good job, guys.
Stay in game.
Yeah, that's almost.
Very good game, guys. Good strat.
My Donger
I
still
have
on
to
the field.
farm.
Oh wait, zero death Donger.
Kill Jace.
Red buff Ragnarok going in. Meganar coming out from Shigenda though. The extra health might be enough. BrokenBlade flashes and gets the solo bolo. We've got another fight here. Mickey's very deep. TP coming out as well from BrokenBlade as they look to join the fight. Nature's Grasp into the bullet time. Dodge that, Koi. And Caps and Hansama can only stand and watch. The last defense is not enough. A penta for Comp.
I'm ghosting already.
Oh, that's Meg,
I can be really strong here.
I'm dead. Look me.
Look, Kalista. We win this.
Just run down Kalista like a
I'll
dog.
take a dragon, guys.
Yike. Caught down down in his jungle. Put up that Mega Armor.
Watch Malrang, watch Malrang.
Watch Cop the sapling, Cop the sapling. Fate score to save it from the sapling. It's the best mechanical play I've seen in years. G2 make a date with Destiny in the finals once again. The new look for the new roster. It continues G2's winning ways as they lock a spot in the finals on Sunday.